Hello, okay, so this is an updated tutorial for the other model replacement tutorial I made a few months ago. This will cover more or less the same things, but I will be adding some additional more advanced stuff, such as you can see, this model has some mouth movement with its voice input, as well as implementing jiggle physics for, like, in this case it's a tail, but you can also add things for hair and scarves and clothing and other stuff if you want to. So yeah, so this will more or less be slightly more advanced, but I will still be going over the more basic stuff, including some people requested this about how to add more than one model to a single mod. So yeah, so as always, I will be using this workflow made by the model replacement API's developers Unity workflow. It's more or less a tutorial, and I will still be more or less using the same steps since they are still quite accurate. As always, you will need the Unity 22.3.9 version, which there is a link to it in the tutorial, which I will link this GitHub uh, workflow in the description. But yeah, you'll need this, and you'll also need Git for downloading the model replacement API into your Unity. Once you download this, make sure to restart your computer so it can actually install. And you also want an IDE for editing the code, which I will be using Visual Studio 2022. You can just download the free one. It's the one I'll be using. And you also want a rigged 3D model with human shaped armature, preferably as an FBX. Now, personally, you can usually find them through various sources on the internet. I personally have been able to get them from the Steam Workshop, and I use this website to download any Steam Workshop models from like Gmod or SFM, etc. You will have to convert these in your own way, but to an FBX, but I'm sure you can figure it out how. Yeah, but this is how I usually get my models. So now that once you have all of this installed, make sure you go to your, in case you haven't, go to your Visual Studio installer when you're installing Visual Studio code, just Visual Studio. Go to your installation of your Visual Studio. Go to make sure when you first install it, or if you've already installed it, make sure these two things are checked and installed. The ASP.NET and web development and .NET desktop development. Make sure you install these because otherwise your code won't work, and your IDE won't be able to recognize the C# code. But once that's done, you can go into your Unity and make a new project. Let's go to new project. And last time I said it was supposed to be a 3D HDRP project, but I think they may have changed the names. So right now you go to high definition 3D. It's the same thing, it's just under a different name. So just go to high definition 3D, make a new project name, go do whatever you want, and just create project. Now this will take a while, so I'm gonna cut it once it's cut to when it's done. Okay, so once you're inside the Unity project, you're just gonna want to just close everything, but you're gonna want to go to Window, Package Manager, and then you want to download the model replacement APIs package. So just go into the tutorial, the Unity workflow over here. Just copy this link, hit plus, add package from Git URL, and enter. Now I know I have said some people say that they couldn't edit by the Git URL, so you might want to, if that happens, you may have to manually download just copy the link, enter it into your browser, then just go to code and then just download the actual files, and then you're going to want to import. I think you're going to want to just hit add, add package from disk, and then you add this manifest.json when you download it into your computer. I'm not sure, but I think that's what you have to do. But yeah, that's how you edit manually if if the Git URL doesn't work for some reason. But once this is downloaded, you just wanna this is where you have to set up your model, and just delete all of this pre-put stuff, and you're gonna want to upload your own model. Now, for the sake of examples, for my example, I'm gonna be importing two models. Both of these over here. I'm just gonna place it into my workspace. Okay, so now first I'm gonna go to the Godzilla one and import my Godzilla. Now, what you're gonna want to do, since this is blank, what you're gonna want to do is add all of the textures to it. Okay, so once you have all of your textures placed onto your model, I just wanted to go here, and assuming that it is rigged, I'm assuming you have downloaded a rigged model. You can see these are all the bones and all that. You're gonna want to go to click here, click your model, and then go to rig, and then go to animation type, humanoid, and button create from this model, and apply. And as you can see, it went off on it. There was no errors. Sometimes you may get errors. I've had a few people come up to message me about some errors that they weren't sure how to fix, except for example. But this is how it should look if it's all successful. There's no errors and all that over here. But just for the sake of example, I'm gonna show you what happens if something goes wrong. Let's see. Let's go to this one. Yeah, let's see. This one. Since I know this one has an error, but wait, no, that's the wrong one. Oh yeah, this one. Okay, that's big. But I'm not gonna use this one, so I'm not gonna texture it. But as you can see, if I try to do the same thing over here, click on this model and apply. Oh wait, no, even like click on the model, apply. And you can see that I can see a few errors here, and you can see invalid parent for thigh, expected pelvis but found spine, and now disable triangle pelvis. So what you're gonna do, what I usually do here, so I go into Blender and I edit the bones to the right parent. So I go to the left thigh bone and then I parent it to the spine bone, and then I do this for all of the others. Right thigh to spine, left clavicle to thigh to pelvis, right thigh to pelvis, clavicle to spine, clavicle to spine. I just do all that, and then I import it here again, and then it should work. But that's just an example of something going wrong. But let's go back to my first model here, and so this should be all set up. We've already got the, let's delete this. But yeah, once you've got all the rig set up, what you're gonna want to do, just select your model over here, model replacement SDK, and set up model. Now, as you can see, this is where you set up your model for the game. Now, it looks to be in the wrong spot, so just go to reinitialize. Now, if you see your model doing something other than standing upright and in a T-pose, like maybe it's like sideways or like the wrong way, or you don't see it at all, and that might mean that something went wrong inside during the setting up the rig process. So you might want to check that again, and or worst case scenario, maybe you could try and redo your we make the project, sometimes that happens. I'm not sure, but yeah. So if this is what you more or less what you see, just your model in the T-pose upright, just reinitialize, and it should be in the correct position. Now what you're gonna want to do is to just more or less set up your model to be lined up. You don't necessarily have to do this, I've heard, but this is just more or less to have a reference for what your model will look like in game. So if I put this into the game right now, it will more or less have the Godzilla being slightly taller than the player. But so if you want, you can just change it, make it, resize it, and all that. So that's what I'm gonna do. Oh, I probably shouldn't do that. But if you want to resize it, I do recommend doing it over here. So if you want to, let's say I want it to be 0.95 smaller, I'll just do it over here, initialize, and as you can see, it's more or less in the same position. Yeah, it's more about, should be about the same size now, but oh well, I don't think it made that much of a difference. But yeah, that's around what you should do. If you're gonna scale it up, make sure these are all the same values, since they will look, since if they're all not all the same, it will look a bit weird in game if you're looking at your model from third person. But yeah, but you should more or less, I don't think you really have to do much here in terms of lining it up for the player, like I did in the last video, which apparently wasn't really necessary. But yeah, so the walkie-talkie, you can more or less just put it in the right area if you want. I don't think this does much in the first place. Yeah, but just set up your model, make sure it lines up. You try and make it sure it lines up horizontally with your player. If you make it really big, it will look really big in game. If you make it small, it could really small in game. But be aware that no matter how big or small your model is, your camera will always be the default with the scavenger. It'll always be the default height, since the developer doesn't really want to make it like a cheat, and so it won't line up with whatever your model's height is. It will line up with whatever the original scavenger's camera placement height is. But once this is done, you are more or less ready to start importing it into the game. But I'm going to do something different now. I'm going to add jiggle physics for the tail. Now what you want to do is, we're gonna add a component over here and jiggle rig builder. Now this is where you can set up your jiggle rig, and here I'm gonna put it to this where you set up the bone. So for example, I'm just gonna go into the bones here, and as you can see, this is where the tailbone starts. So this is where the tailbone is. So I'm just gonna go into the model here, root transform, and just go to the base of the tailbones. So in this case, tail 1. And jiggle settings, if you want to make jiggle settings, you're gonna want to right click in your workspace, create jiggle physics. I'm just gonna do example tail settings here, but it will create a file like this one here with a few settings over here. You can experiment with this if you want. This will control the settings of your jiggle physics on your model. But once you do that, once you have this file, you can just go over to this jiggle rig builder script, drag it and put it over here. And now if you want to test it, you can, hang on, let me take off this thing. You can just hit play just to see an example of what it looks like. This will more or less, yeah, as you can see, this is what your model will look like with the jiggle physics on. As you can see, yeah, you can experiment with this if you want a bit more. I'm not gonna do it too much. Just experiment with the settings over here, which try and play around a bit, see what's to your liking. But once that's done, I'm just gonna reset it. And okay, now we are more or less ready to start setting up for the mod. And now just for the sake of saving the model, I'm just gonna save this as a prefab for myself. So you'll see this over here. Just so in your future mod update, you just have a backup and of your already preset model that you've already set up for the mod. But once you're done, you can go ahead and create a model replacement SDK and create project. This will be your new project. And now you're going to go back to your model over here, and over here in your project and go to the project that you just made. Project asset model. Asset name will be Gojira, which means inside the asset bundle that will be created when you build the project, you'll be able to find your model name as Gojira inside there. And now let's go back. And as you can see, when you build the project, the Gojira will be inside the asset bundle. Now, just for the sake of example, I'm gonna set up a new model over here. And just delete all this. And let me just set up a new model real quick. Okay, so once you have your second model set up, if you have a second model to set up, you can just go ahead and it's just as simple as that. You just add the project to over here, and the same project, might I remind you, and now both, you might not see it, but both Gojira and Mebius are inside it. So as you can see, this one, yeah, it's also in the one here. Wait, hang on. Oh yeah, so like as you can see, both of them are now inside your project. So when you build the asset bundle, both this model and Gojira will be the same asset bundle, and so you can have two models in the same mod. So yeah, just make sure that your project name, just for, but yeah, now both of them are set up. Okay, so once that's done, you're gonna want to set up this entire thing. I said bundle name, make sure it's unique, and so just make it whatever you want it to be, but make sure it's not template bundle, because some people, they might leave it as template bundle, and then once they load it into the game, if another mod also has the name asset bundle name of template bundle, both of your mods won't be able to load because your game will get confused. So make sure it's unique, but it's just make sure it's unique. Don't worry about it too much, but just make sure it's not template bundle. And then project path, you can leave it blank and path for now. LC path, it'll be the path of your little company game files. Don't worry about it, you will usually autocorrect for you. And now, since if this is your first time making the new project, you're just gonna want to go to generate, check this, generate new project on build, mod GUID. This will be also to be unique. Just add to make it whatever you want. Com dot, I usually put com dot username dot whatever your mod name is going to be. plus your mod name. These three are really that important right now, since you can always edit them later in the generated project files. But yeah, so once that is done, you can build once they've set this all up already, you can build the project. And now just go to any folder that you will be able to track back to later on. I just made this folder as an example. I'm going to be using this one, and it will build the asset bundle and all the project files over there. Now this will take a while, but while we're waiting, if you ever want to update your mod and in the future you want to place a new model, just do the same thing as I did for the Mebius thing. It's more or less the same. Your model should save all of these presets, your Gojira and your other models that you already saved inside there. And don't worry about this, but it should be already inside there. So if you ever want to add a new one, just do the same thing, add it to the associated with this model file, and just build project again. You don't have to just uncheck this, since it should already be okay, but just build the project in the same place. Okay, so this is where my mod project file is being stored now. This is where I built my project. Now what you're gonna want to do is go to your .csproj file. You'll see a file that said csproj. You should open it inside your Visual Studio, and let's hit Solution Explorer, or if it's not there, go to Solution Explorer View and Solution Explorer, and then just go to body replacements.cs. Now this has set it up for me conveniently, but as you can see, this is where both of my models are being initialized. So my first model, Mebius, this is where the model is being initialized, and this is where the Godzilla model is initialized. If you only had one model, it should look something like this. Your model name over here, and then this is the class. So if it's just one model, it will look something like this. But if you have two, it will look something like this. And if you have three or more, then it will just go on and on and on. So if you ever, like in the future, you want to edit this code, add more models, just copy and then paste it and then edit the details and such. But now, as you can see, this body replacement base is right now it's an error because it doesn't recognize it, and that's because we haven't downloaded the model replacement.dll for this project. So what we're gonna want to do is to just, let me find it, go to this link over here and just download this DLL over here. Yep. And now just go to downloads and this one, copy this and paste it in your project folder. Make sure it's called, if it's a duplicate, just make sure it's called model replacement API.dll. And as you can see, the red lines have gone away. And now this is more or less correct already. I don't really have to edit much. So as you can see, the model name for my Mebius model is called Mebius, and as you can see, your asset name Mebius. So you will have to copy this exactly, and then this is what your model will be called in the code. So it's the class called Mebius, Mr. Mebius, MR Mebius, whatever. And this Godzilla, Gojira, etc. Godzilla, yeah. The asset name is called Gojira. You can change this if you want, and then you have to go to before you build the asset bundle, or if you want to edit it, you can also do that. But yeah, so this is more or less your body replacement.cs done. And now you're gonna want to go to plugin.cs, and this is where you initialize it. Now, just like last time, I'm gonna delete most of the config settings because they are more or less, they don't really do much in the first place. If you understand what these are saying, what these do, you can go ahead and edit them if you want to. But just for beginner's sake, I'm gonna delete all of these not needed lines, and just so I can keep the code as simple as possible. Now, I will make sure this line is over here. You're gonna want to write this line over here, and this already based on API.resource item should be the name of your PNG file for your more suits. Because okay, so let me just take another mod of mine as an example. For example, this is my past Godzilla model. FNX plugins. So this is your item thing over this thing over here should be filled in with the name of your PNG that you'll be using on your wardrobe, the texture on your suit of your wardrobe. So for example, this one was called Godzilla.png. So I'm gonna be using that later. So I'm gonna use Godzilla. This will be the name of your suit on your wardrobe. Okay. So just limit Godzilla. Hang on, let me double check in my past model files. Yeah, so see, anyway, Godzilla, this is what the name of my suit will be on the wardrobe, so it's just called Godzilla. And now, yeah, type of Mr. Gojira. Now you can just copy and paste this, and then if you have two or more models, just copy and paste this, and then do the same for your other models. For each model that you have, you're gonna have one line of each. So this one will be called on the wardrobe, and then we say, I will teach you later on. I will teach you how to do the voice activated mouth thing. I'll do this in a video since it's quite advanced. But so once you're more or less done with all of the setup for the code, just go into build solution, and as you can see, it succeeded, no problems. And so in this build file, and this is where your models is being stored for the mod. Oh wait, no, this is the wrong one, sorry. The example folder build, but yeah, this is where your model is being stored for the mod. But you're not done yet, since right now your model currently has no, right, because right now you've made it so that it's associated with a suit, but now with a suit name Godzilla, but you have no suit of that name right now inside your mod files. So what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to create some folders. For the sake of clarity of being quick, I'm just gonna take it from my old mods. But right now, inside your build folder, you're gonna want to create a folder called PepinX, capital B, capital I, capital E, plugins, more suits, and then you're gonna want a text folder called !less suits.txt. This one is actually from the more suits mod, so that when you download the more suits mod, it will load their vanilla suits into the game, and you'll just have your suits on the wardrobe. So and then this is where your texture file for your suit on the wardrobe is going to be. You can leave this as your as the default textures for the little cuff suit. I think I will leave a tutorial on how to create your own textures for your suits on the wardrobe in the top right hand corner, but I already have mine made already. Let me just grab the one for my other Mebius suit that I have made. Hang on. And yeah, so as you can see, this Godzilla will be associated with this Godzilla.png. This Mebius will be associated with this Mebius.png. And so now that's all done. Now your mod is more or less finished. So if you want to test it, you're just going to want to go to your R2 mod manager or your Thunderstorm mod manager. Go to little company, go to your mod testing profile or whatever, and go to your mod testing file, and let's go to settings, browse profile folder, and then over here in window that pops up, go to BepInX, plugins, and then this is where all your mods are being installed. Now you're gonna want to create a new folder called test. This will create a new, just create a new folder. It can be named whatever. I just need mine test, but this is where I did some previous testing for another mod. But what you want to do is just go to your build folder and just copy everything and paste it into your test folder. Now the game does some weird things if you arrange it like this while in your test folder. So you're just gonna want to go to, hang on, copy this more suits folder, Ctrl C, and then go to here, your test folder, and paste. So make sure it's more suits at the forefront. While in your mod manager folders, you just want to have your more suits in the forefront instead of BepInX, and you can delete the rest. So while in your plugins, your test, it should look like this: more suits, your DLL, and all these are more or less optional, but more suits, and then all of your other PNG files like this. And now you are ready, and now your game can read it. So just start your modded game, and we can test it from there. If you're wondering why I have a third person mod, I have a dang it.
Welcome to your first day on the
Never
job.
mind, but I'll show it later. But
This is your very own
over here, this is my another mod that I have, but here,
duration.
this is my Mebius costume, and yeah, it works over here.
Make
And
yourself at home.
this is my
To complete the onboarding
Godzilla
process, you will
costume,
want to check the instruction
and
manual
yeah,
assigned into
and
the ship's computer terminal. We
as
trust
you
will
can
be a
see,
great asset
it also
to
has the
great
Jiggle physics
asset to the
that I
company.
implemented
Great
last time.
asset.
It's not as good as the one I shot in the beginning of the video, but yeah, this Jiggle physics nonetheless. You're gonna have to experiment with it a bit more. But yeah, that is proof that your mod is working. But if you're wondering how I get the third person camera, I have a mod, let's see if it's called LC third person. You're going to download this mod. You activate it with pressing V, and I believe it was free camera that also, just look up free cam mods on your mod page, on your mod manager. I'm sure you'll find some. But yeah, this is proof that your mod works, and now you can just and as you can see, I have my claws from the model also implemented into the first person. If you're wondering how this happens, you're gonna have to download the lethal config mod, but you can just go into the model replacement API, that one, model replacement config, and then this thing, you just check this box if it's not already on. and this will generate a view model for all your model replacements. Okay, and then so just end this apply. But yeah, now this is basically your mod, so you're more or less ready to upload your mod. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't already, if you just in case you didn't know, if you're gonna be testing your mod, make sure you have mod replacement API and more suits enabled and Dark installed and enabled, because otherwise your mod won't work, since they both depend on these two: more suits for the extra suits on the wardrobe and mod replacement API for the actual mod to work. Now you're more or less ready for it to to upload it to the Thunderstorm. So just select this, go to your build folder, your product folder, select all this, and you just compress the zip file, and then you upload the zip file to the Thunderstorm mod manager. You just going to want to edit your icon.png, your manifest.json. Make sure you add your dependencies. Let me more suits Thunderstorm. Yeah, you're gonna want to go to the more suits page, take this dependency string, copy it, and then just add a new, make sure you add a comma. But yeah, this will make sure so that when you upload it to Thunderstorm, it will add the more suits mod as a dependency and force you to download it to make sure that the mod works when you upload it. Now, once just make sure you save that, and you can also edit the readme, though that is more or less optional, since that's just for the mod page. And yeah, once it's all that's done, you can just zip it up and then upload it on the store. But now we are going to want to make, just like I said in the beginning of the video, I was going to teach you how to make the mouth move with voice activation. Now this one is purely through code. You're not gonna be using Unity much for this, but yeah, so this is purely through code. Just go to your example thing. Not already. Let it open. But yeah, just go to your code over here. Now go to let me just check first. Okay, so what you're gonna want to do is go to your this PC OS program files, Steam, not Steam apps, common. Go to little company, assuming you have it download there, which you should. The company, little company data, managed, I think, managed, and go to find the one called dissonance. Dissonance voip.dll. Copy this and then go to your project folder, your project folder, and paste it over here. This is what Little Company uses for the voice chat, and more or less, and we're gonna be using it to add it to our code here. So just add it here, just like you did for the model replacement API.dll. Add your copy and paste this over here. Don't delete it from that folder. We should just copy it and paste it over here. And then go over here, go to your project folder, and right click over here and add project reference. Just go to browse and dissonance VoIP. Select that and okay. Now this will allow you to make some code that is relating to the voice chat. Now I was able to get in contact with a guy who was able to code all of this thing, this thing. Don't disturb him, please. I personally ask him, but if you have any questions, just ask me instead, since I'm the one who is uploading this video and I agreed to the questions. But what you're gonna want to do is so I was able to get a copy of his code, of the code that is able to do this. Let me just open this up, and this is what you're gonna want to do inside your body replacement.cs. Now go to your whatever class that you want to add your go to whatever class you want to add your voice preference to, and then just I will upload this more or less this and update my own type of file to this, but just copy this segment. I will add a link, have a link to this file, but you just want to copy this, and then it's over here. Don't worry about the things for a while, the red lines for a while. Then just copy this below. Hang on. Yeah. Copy this and then put it below everything. And this will be all of the settings for your voice activation. And now, hang on, let me just close this for a second. But this might, I will add a, never mind, but go to your plugin.cs, and you will want to add a config. Since this is more for advanced things, I will be adding a config file to adding a config settings to this. But yeah, so you're just gonna want to add this. Now this is gonna add a config to the mod, and you will create a config called voice sensitivity, and you add a more or less you can put a number into the game and you will indicate your voice sensitivity. So your voice sensitivity for your model's jaw, and set the value, and you can set it from 5 to 20, and the default value is 10. So yeah, so it will create a new variable called voice sensitivity, and after that just copy this 2 lines and paste it over here. And yeah, that's all you have to do for plugin.cs. So it just creates a voice sensitivity. But once you're down here, now if everything's gone well, you will be over here. Now this is important. Now over here in this line, game object jaw equal component find slash path to jaw. Now this more or less self-explanatory. You're gonna want to find the bone for your jaw in your model. So as you can see in my other Godzilla model that has the jaw opening, it has the bone, the path to its jaw. So if you want to find this, you just have to go to your Unity. Let me just delete this for a sec, and let's go to your thing over here. Go to the, oh wait, no, not here. Go over here, and as you can see, you're just gonna want to find the path to the jaw. Spine 1, neck 1, head, and then here, jaw. So just gonna want to word for word, case sensitive, just indicate the path. So as you can see over here, it's Mechagoji. Hang on. Mecha Goji human size arm, root, BIP pelvis, BIP spine 0. Yeah, just more or less follow the format of this and then put it into that string over there. So just copy your, I don't think you can copy the path from over here, but just copy the path of the bones over to over there. So since it's the same model more or less, I'm just gonna copy it from over here just to speed things up. But yeah, let's replace this over here. Now you're gonna want to now over here is a bit finicky. Now this will be the angle for your what it says over here, initial jaw opening and max jaw opening. Now this one can be a bit finicky because there's no real way for it to tell what each of these will look like in game. So you will more or less have to try and error this. Just keep on so let's say for example, it's like this. Let's keep this value as the default. Let's build. So once our code is complete, I'm just gonna want to rebuild the solution. Succeeded. Okay. And now just go back to your plugins folder, go to your test, and then just it's rebuilt. Let's just copy this and then place it over here. Okay. Since it's just the DLL that changed, it's just the code that changed. So now we're just gonna test it over here. Now we're just gonna take the Godzilla suit, and let's see, does it work? As you can see, it's working a bit. Yeah, so but if you want it to be bigger or smaller, you can just adjust the, but right now it looks more or less okay, but it looks like the mouth is a bit open even on the default setting without any voices. And but if you want, you can adjust the exact angles to be a bit smaller. So you're just going to want to try and error it. Even the person who made the code wasn't sure how to do it. But yeah, over here you're just going to want to experiment with these values a bit. Just go up and down or whatever until you get what's right. Just keep on rebuilding the project and then just keep on rebuilding the project and adding the DLL to the new DLL to the mod folder. But I know this all code seems a bit complicated, but I will add a link to my Godzilla mod just so you can have this as a reference to how the code should look like, and just follow what I did to implement these things. But if you have any questions, you can always ask me on Discord or in the comments. Don't be afraid. I'm okay with helping people. But yeah, so that's the voice activation working. So now you can just quit, and then again you can just upload your mod to the Thundersaw if you want to. Now if you want to consult with me, I am LuckyBam, but I am also on the Little Company Modding Discord. You can also find me over there. Okay, so I know in the last video I asked you to ask on this Little Company Modding Discord, but a lot of you were asking in development general, and since this is more for general modding, you probably didn't get an answer. So my advice is you should go to mod releases and then just find the model replacement API channel. So this is for the dedicated place for all types of mods. But if you can't find it over here, you can either search for it or you can just go to from the mod authors developer Punya Pine Tree, and you can just over here, and this is the channel where you can more or less ask about questions about model replacement API, and you can probably get some answers. I could check in here sometimes, but and maybe other people also answer questions, or other people also answer questions here, or you could just DM me over here, and I'm okay with answering your questions. Now, so yeah, I think that's about it. So once again, once you're fine with your mod, you can just go ahead and upload it, and let's go to your build folder, go to your build folder, make sure it's the one with the Pepin X plugins more suits like this. Okay, so just take out of your build folder, zip it up, and then just upload it. Make a new team, make it your own or whatever. Communities, just add little company, categories to whatever suits, whatever, and then just submit it. So thank you for thank you for watching my my video. Thank you for watching it. I know I got some requests for doing some other stuff, and for making the updated tutorial for to cover some advanced stuff. But so here it is. Thank you for the support. That's it.